Hey guys, Michael Corsentino with an edit using ON1 Perfect Photo Suite 10. That's right, version 10, the brand new version. I'm going to keep things quick and easy for this tutorial, but definitely suggest that you check out all of the videos on ON1's site, which cover all of the new features and benefits of version 10. Definitely worth a look. Okay, so one of the first things that I do when I look at an image is I create a roadmap and I figure out exactly what it is that I want to do with the image. And for this image of Orlando-based rock and roll band Blaine the Mono, a band that I work with from time to time with promotional images, what I want to do is give it a kind of edgy rock and roll desaturated look. And I want to add a little bit of light here and there in the shadow areas. So what I'll do is I will work with some local adjustments. I'll work with some filters. And we'll take the image from where it is now to something I think that'll look really kind of exciting and compelling. So first and foremost, I want to look at the image overall, and I see that there's some sensor dust. So what I want to do is first of all remove that, and I can do that right here by just going over to my retouch brush, and I can just go in here and retouch out some of those little spots which nobody wants to see. And that takes care of that. Okay, and then I'm going to move over to the effects module, and oftentimes I can switch, I can work directly in the effects module without having to go to enhance first, and in this case I'll do that. Alright, so now we are in effects. We've got our first effect layer created here that does that for us automatically. And the first thing that I want to do is add some light into the shadow areas, which we can see here. So I will just go over to the filters. I'll go into adjustment brushes, open that up, and I'll see the first one here is lighten. So I'll choose lighten. Great, and now you don't see any change because I've got this as paint in, which means that it's masked. My brush size is 200, my feather is 50, and my opacity is 100%. So I want to change these settings. I want to build my light as I go, so I'm going to take this down to about 20%. I'm going to move my feather to 80, and that's going to give me a nice soft brush that's going to allow me to slowly build lightness as I paint. I'm also going to increase my brush size using my bracket keys on the keyboard, and I'm just going to slowly paint in some brightness in these areas on the clothes, just to kind of open things up a little bit, create a little bit of separation there on that shadow, little detail up in here, over here. Turn it off and on. We can see the effect. Great. So that's giving me more sense of depth and a little bit more. Great. All right, let's increase our opacity just a little bit more here and work a little bit brighter. Things are going to darken up a bit when I add bleach bypass into the mix. So if it gets a little too bright now, it doesn't really matter. Of course, I can always use the darken adjustment brush to darken things if I need. That's one of the things that I really love about the adjustment brushes, that they allow you to work locally, to really make your adjustments very specific and localized, and that I really like. Okay, let's add the next filter. Now we've got an empty layer, so I'm going to go over here to darken, because I want to also, now that we added light, I also want to take out some light. And again, my settings look good for this. I'm just going to take this back to 20%. And I'm going to go in here and darken down some of this stuff. Great. Excellent. And I want to darken some of the skin, some of these highlights. Just some of the stuff that might be distracting the eye a little bit. And I just love, again, how detailed I can get here. And again, you can do a lot of this globally, but I like to work locally. Okay, good. Excellent. All right, so let's add another filter. And let's go back out and choose our bleach bypass effect. Here we go. Now, if I click on that little thumbnail icon, you can see here that now I've got all of the various options for bleach bypassed, which gives me a little bit of a larger thumbnail. I can see kind of what the look is going to be. So I'm going to click on this first one, which is a little heart there. You can see that's one of my favorites. It's just the normal straight up version. And there we go. All right, so I've got the overall opacity for all the settings up here, but I also have the opacity for bleach bypass itself. So I can now, of course, modulate this look and kind of dial it into exactly where I want it to be. And I think somewhere around there is looking good. I like that. That looks nice. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's add another filter. Well, I think I could use a little bit of contrast here. So let's take a look at dynamic contrast. Yeah, I think I'm going to choose soft contrast. So I'll just double click on that, and that gives me my soft contrast. And I want to scale that back a little bit just so it's not too extreme. Right about there. It could be a little more. Yeah, right about there is good. All right, and that looks good. Pretty happy with that. We've still got some detail in the background. We opened up our shadow areas a little bit. Things darkened down a little bit with bleach bypass, but we still have more detail than when we started with. We've got some nice contrast. We took out our little sensor dust stuff, and I'm ready to apply. Now we're applying all of the effects. And there you have it. That is my quick edit using ON1 Perfect Photo Suite 10. Again, check out all of the great videos on ON1's site, and you can see the ways that different people are using this new version and learn how to use it yourself. Until next time, this is Michael Corsentino for ON1.